Welcome back to Notes from the Sanctuary. I'm Véronique.
And I'm Paola.
And we're learning to live a better, gentler life, and we want you to come along for the ride.
So this week we're opening chapter 6, which is super exciting because we're widening what it means when we say creativity.
Yes. I mean, as we're both, I think, rather creative people.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting because I think some of this is actually going to be a different, like a step backwards in a way for us, or like a, not backwards.
It's almost
but
like a reflection.
Yeah, it's like, because we're going to talk a lot about creativity for the non-creative person.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's creativity for the nervous system. We're all capable of that.
Oh, yes, literally. Yes. We're going to dive deep in this. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into today's theme, how's your body right now?
Great. I'm feeling strong, capable, and agile. Like the past week, I have some chronic pain sometimes, and this past week, no.
Oh, that's great.
So that's good.
Nice
so
yeah.
It's a nice feeling that my body's happy.
Yeah, that's great. I'm feeling, I guess, positive, hopeful, and yeah, just kind of excited about the whole creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
See
fun.
where it brings us.
Yes. All right, so we're opening a whole new chapter, and I'm going to say it again. We just said it, but I'm going to say it again. This chapter is not necessarily for people who consider themselves creative. It's for everyone, and it's especially for people who feel that word no longer applies to them.
Yeah.
They might have thought of themselves as creative, as all kids do.
Mm-hmm.
The make-believe, the drawing, and they think that it doesn't apply to them anymore. And I think it's going to be interesting because there's more to creativity than producing.
I saw or I read somewhere there was a study. I think it was with NASA. It was NASA actually, and they did a study and they said that by the age of, I think, a very young age, like I think 10 grade. Or something like this.
Yeah, 3rd grade, I think.
There you go. You lose like over 80% of your creativity. Like it's just gone. And by the time you're an adult, it's very low. And that's crazy because we use creativity for everything.
Yes.
Right?
Problem solving.
Yes. And you may not think it's a creative activity or creative thing. It really is. Thinking about where you're going to hang a wall. Or not hang a wall. Hang a painting. That's creative. Thinking about what you're going to wear today. Making your outfit for the day. That is in itself creative.
You know, people that process data will sometimes have to think of new ways to process it, and they have to get creative with it.
Software development.
Yeah, definitely.
Just
like there's some aspects that you don't think creativity is needed, but we all need at least like a form of it.
And I think it's important to know that even as an adult, we are creative beings, and we have to continue to nurture that part of us.
For sure. So some people have a moment where they stop like calling themselves creative. I feel like you and I don't have that.
No.
So that doesn't really apply to us. But maybe our listeners do. So maybe they can think of like what it was.
Yeah. And maybe there is one moment where it's like, ooh, my teacher said I suck.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Or like I brought my art home and
they didn't hang it up.
Or didn't pay attention, or, like these little things that can create a trauma that, parents might have been busy or on the phone or something, and
like micro traumas, right? That you don't notice, but you internalize.
So I've got a question here for you though. So if creativity isn't about talent or output, what's it actually about?
For me, I love it. I love when my brain can just, I call it zoning out. So sometimes, in the same kind of vein, I love audiobooks because my brain just, I can picture and I can imagine, and it's a different form of creativity because my brain is working. And then when I'm creating something, like again, little earrings or artwork, or I do wax stamps and then I create all these things, for me, it's just the enjoyment and the value added to my soul.
Yes. There's definitely like that moment of I made that, but I guess that's the output. But there's, like you said, that disconnected, like that moment where your brain just gets off of that, you know, default mode network.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes onto a different track. And I've had that doing origami, folding paper butterflies. There was a time where my bedroom was just like I had made this whole like background behind my bed that was all folded paper butterflies, white butterflies everywhere. Or my kids will say they remember the butterfly stage when our house was
covered in butterflies.
Butterflies, and it became about the output for sure,
Okay.
but it didn't start that way. It was really just like the folding, like
And like almost like a nervous system, like you just zone out.
exactly. It's a meditation.
Yes,
It's a form
really
of meditation.
is.
Yeah.
And I think that's healing because sometimes I'll be stressed, like there'll be something at work or in my life, and I'm like, no, I need to make this right now, and I'll make it whether I'm crocheting. Like I'll watch a movie, I'll zone out, and I'll just
Sometimes just laying out the supplies.
Yeah, I love laying out the supplies and the smell of new pens and like. I'm a nerd.
We all are. I think we're given a very narrow definition of creativity.
Yes.
Like one that requires a skill or an audience or a finished product.
Yeah.
And I think that's what will make some people decide that they're not creative.
Like I can't because it hasn't been validated, right? Yeah.
Okay, so have you ever lost track of time doing something with your hands? And what was it? What did it feel like afterwards?
Oh my God, yes. Most recently, I made some earrings for some friends, including you. And it was the style that I made for you. I've done it before, so I knew how. But I made a different style for another girlfriend, and it was the first time I'd made that style, but I tackled it. I made one earring 3 times.
Oh, no.
Because it just wasn't working, or I finished it, didn't like it, scrapped it, cut it up, and it was just, I lost like 4 or 5 hours on this single earring because I wanted it in my mind to be perfect.
Yes.
So it was perfection.
So it's about the output.
Yes, but it was, I also got just lost doing it. Like just before I knew it, each earring, I was like, oh, that's done. And I just lost 3 hours. But you don't notice, right?
No. Yeah, I've definitely lost track of time so often folding paper butterflies. I did zentangle for a while.
Oh, yes.
Because I had actually participated in a workshop. And so that was awesome. The output was there, though. But the cool thing with the zentangle is that no matter people's skill level, everyone in that workshop came out with something that looked cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter, right? You're
Exactly.
just creating
it's just patterns that you just, and if you make a mistake, that's part of the pattern.
So actually, in my beading, there is the idea of the spirit bead.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll follow a pattern, or you'll create a pattern, or you'll have an idea of what you want to make. But it just so happens, maybe you grab a different color, or the bead is like a little bit wonky. The idea is you leave it there because the creator or God or whoever or made it to be like that.
Persian carpets are like that.
Oh, okay.
They all like a properly made Persian carpet will always have a mistake in it.
Yeah.
Because only the creator is
It's perfect. The spirit, whatever, or the spirit bead. And it's not a mistake, because the idea is it was meant to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, because when you focus too much on your mistakes, you lose the idea of feeding your soul or zoning out or letting your nervous system relax,
No,
because then you're
the
stressed.
opposite. Yeah.
You're stressed about the perfection, the output,
Yes.
and that's not it at all.
No, that's yeah. And have you ever done knitting?
I tried, but I couldn't figure it out
Oh.
because I don't like the. It's just a stick, so it kept sliding out.
Yeah, you get used to it. It's funny. I learned how to knit when I was maybe 8 years old,
Oh wow!
and then I never did it again. And I decided, I don't know, about 10 years ago or something, to pick it up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with the YouTube, and it was so complicated. It didn't make sense. And then I kind of like let my mind, like something caught my attention, and I
Mm-hmm.
realized I was doing it because my memory, like my muscle memory, remembered. So as soon as I stopped staring at the video and
you just
stopped,
knew
like,
how to do
I
it.
just knew how to do it, and then I was just like knitting.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it was
so
not,
cool.
It was not done well, my
No,
stitches were all
but
unequal, but like
the idea, right?
yeah,
I when I do crochet, it's like this, because typically I don't do it often, and I normally do it when I want to have an idea of something I want to create.
mm-hmm.
So I'll do it, and I'm like, oh, I forgot how to do this. So I'll watch a video, I'll get confused, I'll try, and then it's like, okay, I got it. I got it.
Exactly.
I got it.
So, I mean, in a way, it's like, again, it stops you from the overthinking. And
Yeah,
yeah.
your body kind of just takes over a little bit.
Yeah. So, like, there's something that happens in your nervous system when you do something repetitive and absorbing. Your brain quiets. Not because you're forced to do it, but because it's just enough to do. And it's a very specific kind of relief. The question says, have you felt that? But I know you have. So tell me about it.
Yeah. So I tend to overthink, or each day I'll have like a list of things that I want to ideally get done. And sometimes on days when I feel overwhelmed and I have an art thing on my list, I prioritize that art thing, and it lets everything else fall away. It's almost like a meditation practice. Yeah. And I'll focus on that, and I'll do a lot. So I do these wax stamps, and when I do it, I'll do like 10 or 12, because I just zone out and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this, or I do this. And it's a really nice way for my brain to quiet and not stress about all the other things I want to do, or like not be hard on myself. Like it's a way for me to be gentle.
Yeah. My most recent creative endeavor was I had bought this like really cool looking skeleton head off of Amazon.
Okay.
But it was very, just resin, nothing
fancy.
I mean, it was fancy, but like just the relief on it.
Okay.
Like it was like it had texture and stuff. I like flower texture and stuff. But it was not like, anyway, so I went in and I bedazzled it. No, I put little gemstone, like little rhinestones inside of its eye sockets. And that was really like hypnotizing, right? Because it's just like
one at a time,
and just like finding the spot for them, and like finding the rhinestone, and like your brain really is not on anything.
Yeah,
like, that's
you're focusing in front of you what you're doing.
It's definitely a meditative state. And I think the whole thing, because then I did a lot of different washes on it to kind of give it this aged look, and I glued on some moss and stuff, and all of it was super absorbent. Yeah, so that felt really good.
That's nice. I think, to be honest, I see it as medicine. And one of my managers, he says, in your life, you need to find the medicine in your life. For him, he does cycling. That's his medicine. Okay. My medicine is my art, my creative release, right? So I ask you, what's your medicine, right? Do you have a medicine? And maybe you're in the process of figuring out what yours is.
So, and the interesting thing about this like repetitive task, and how like there's actually a neuroscience behind it.
Okay.
So like, basically it does bring her brains in the same sort of state as meditation does.
I believe it 100%.
It releases, or it basically like activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which
Yeah.
we talked about when we talked about
Yeah.
nervous system. So that allows us to kind of go into the rest and digest state.
Yeah.
And we definitely get dopamine.
Yes.
From the purchasing the supplies, from the laying out the supplies,
From
smelling the supplies. Oh yeah, some paint smells really good too.
Oh my god.
Although I have like a really gross smelling paint, like the gold one that I used recently, not good.
Yeah.
No dopamine from that one.
But I will say what's really nice about this research is it doesn't matter, like there doesn't matter on the output.
No.
It could be something fully, like we'll call it ugly. Like ugly artwork, I think is still really beautiful because it's a different style. But even if you say, I'm not creative, so I'm not going to do anything, it doesn't matter. Because just the fact of doing it, it will activate this nervous system, like the parasympathetic, right? And that's what you want, because instead of being on, activated, stress,
Yep. Rest and digest. We have a friend who considers herself not creative, and I wanna do an art night with her.
That could be fun.
Yeah, I wanna activate it.
Just to do some crafts or do a little something.
Yeah. I mean, she's into plants. She's creative. She just isn't
100%.
realized. Yeah. Yeah. So what's the difference between creating to produce something and creating to arrive somewhere? So we kind of talked about it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think creating to produce something, okay, I will say I tried it. When I first started beading, I was part of like a work indigenous circle. So we just did a bunch of beading during COVID on our lunch break, and it was great. And they were like, oh, when we make this, you guys can sell it. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I did try that, but I realized the value, I was putting too much stress on myself. And even the idea of, let's say, someone coming to me saying, hey, I have an order, I want you to do this, like this. The idea of receiving someone's order stressed me out.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, no, I can't do this. Like, I make my art when I make it because I want to do it the way I want to do it. It's not for anyone else other than me. So for me, doing it for, what was it? Creating to produce something versus... it's for me, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's a better way to do it. I mean, if you're making a living out of it, it's a completely different thing, but
then you have to force yourself. It's not going to be the same.
Exactly.
So I don't remember if it's this episode or last episode, but I mentioned I'm a published writer.
Yes.
And the first book I wrote, I never even attempted to get published because I didn't feel like it was up to par. Yeah. The second one was the one that got published, and while I was shopping that book out, I wrote a third one, and most of a fourth one. The last two never saw, like, no one's ever seen them.
Okay.
And because what happened is once I was published, it became a job, especially like I was going through my divorce at the time. So I needed to have an income, and because I was a stay-at-home mom, I needed to have an income. So it became something that was a job, and it killed it for me. Yeah, it really killed it. And now sometimes I do go back to those old stories because they were never the ones that were never finished, and I just like play around with them a little bit, but I don't have intentions. It's not the same. I don't have intentions of it ever like going out into the world. Like it's just for me. Like, well, that's just, nice. Yeah.
And now you enjoy it probably more than
when I feel like toying around with it. Yeah. Okay, so can you think of a repetitive activity in your life that you've never called creative, but that functions like this for you? Well, that's interesting.
Repetitive activity. Probably my plants.
Sure.
Right? Because it's repetitively like taking care, watering,
checking on them, checking for pests.
Oh, yes.
With the glasses.
Like, I can't think of anything else because everything else that I do is quite creative. Mm-hmm. Cooking could be another one.
Oh yeah, that's true. And some people would say cooking's very creative.
Yes, I will say
It depends on the.
I have a problem with following recipes.
My
Like,
brain was chunky just now because of that.
Yeah, like when you came over last time, it was a success. I made this like slow cooked chicken. I just added a bunch of stuff. Like I was like, oh, this will be good. Oh, this will be good. This will be good. I did not follow the recipe at all, and it was good.
I tried to imitate it. I thought it was pretty good. The kids were so about it, so it's in the freezer now.
See, it's a form of art, and it's meditative because you just, you put on some music, you zone out, and you're like la 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 la, and your brain just.
If my kitchen's clean, cooking is like
washing dishes.
You know what? I freaking hate washing dishes until I start doing it. But the idea of it is like the worst task ever. But once I start doing it, oh yeah, very repetitive. Yeah,
very
that's
meditation.
Not creative at all.
No,
it's the same type of thing for sure. So one of the reasons that meditative creative practice works so well is that they remove the evaluative layers.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to judge, and I think that's worth sitting with.
Yes.
So why does a blank page feel so different from a pattern to fill in? What is a blank page actually asking from us?
I think it's... I'm not very good at doing blank pages. Like the idea of sketching. What I'll do instead of sketching, I'll write. And it'll be journaling.
Okay.
And in a way that's creating. But for some, the idea of creating something can be stressful. Mm-hmm. And it can cause, like, I'm not creative. I don't know what to do. It's not going to be perfect. I can't do it. And it causes your nervous system to spike or, like, your blood pressure to increase. And I feel like that's because you're judging yourself or you think others are going to judge you. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between you're following a pattern because someone already created for you. It's already been validated and it's going to be quote unquote good. And maybe that's also more meditative versus doing something from scratch. It takes a lot of brain power too.
It does. Like there's definitely like the blank page is definitely a known thing for writers. Yeah. I'm pretty sure artists must feel it too.
Absolutely.
Because there's something very different about finishing like continuing on a creative process versus starting it. Yeah. Like deciding what's the vision you're going to capture even. Like I'm actually not a horrible painter, but I rarely paint because I don't know how to get started.
And what to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Like what, and even if I have an idea of what to do, it's like, what angle do I want it at? And what, what like media I want to use. And sometimes I look at like people's art and like, I'm like, how did you even think of that? Like, how did you come up with that? So that's definitely a place where that blank page is terrifying. Yeah.
Or I think the other thing is thinking, oh, I'm not even going to start, or I did something and it doesn't look like what I envisioned. Yeah. So therefore, like, I fucked up.
My daughters. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. We have a painting somewhere that's not finished in the basement because it looks really atmospheric and moody, but that's not what she was going for.
Oh, and so it never, it never got finished. Yeah.
So, so that goes to show right there that like a pattern to fill in, like when we're talking about more like our mental health and like that's so much better because, I mean, there's definitely something to be said with that creative expression for sure. But and I think also just like the getting started.
Getting into the flow
can maybe even like waking up the creativity and you can turn around and like make something. Because at the time when I was doing the zentangle, a little bit later, I started doing these images where I would like trace people's photos and then fill them out with patterns.
Oh, interesting.
Like the hair was different zentangle patterns and whatever. And like, so like I probably would not have come up with that idea just like randomly, right? But because I like the juices got flowing with the zentangle.
You started becoming more creative and creating something.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's another thing to be said
Very.
about those types of repetitive, like creative.
It can spark
endeavors.
something.
Yeah, I can totally can. So, what does your inner critic usually say when you try to make something, and where did that voice come from?
So, like I mentioned, when I was trying to make that one earring, it was like, I need to do it again. And I need to do it again because I can. So in my mind, I was like, Paola, you can do it. Just do it again and you will get it. It was like almost like my cheerleader, like, you got this, just do it again.
Yeah.
But normally, especially when, let's say, I'm drawing or I make my wax stamps, because they don't always look the same. They're not always perfect. I'm just like, well, that's cute. And I just, yeah, cool. Okay. It's the process for me, kind of,
well,
is
great.
what, like, it's like, okay, doing it right and picking the colors and putting them and, okay, waiting for it and picking the, like, it's, yeah. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
My inner critic sounds like my mom.
Oh, interesting.
And it's not that she criticized me, but I grew up while she was going to university in fine arts.
Okay.
So, and she was doing a lot of art education.
Okay.
And so she did practice a lot of stuff on us.
Yeah.
And so we were constantly told how to do it. The proper ways of doing, the proper ways of looking at something and drawing it without seeing the whole image. And, you know, like the whole, like everything the proper way.
Versus you just creating.
So at one point when I was a teenager, I started doing this secret activity, like this dark secret activity where I made myself a light table and I was tracing. I was tracing magazine images.
God forbid.
I know, I was not being creative at all. I was tracing.
Wow.
I did after, like, there was a wedding dress magazine, so I made these beautiful dresses, and then I would go in and edit the details, and I felt a little bit less guilty.
Okay.
Because I was a bit more creative.
Because there was a little bit creative.
Yeah. So my inner critic comes from that, right? Like, it's just, and it's not her fault. Like, it's just like...
At that time,
At
it
that
was the
time,
context.
it was like... And it was a very formative time.
Yeah, for you.
For me. So it became like, art is this, and it has to be this, and everything else is just crafts. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So, and I mean, she's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
And maybe that's another part where my inner critic
You kind of
comes
judge
from.
yourself because you're not
like,
as good as her.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it's like, of course I'm not. Like, I didn't, you know, do all the workshops she has. I haven't put the time in that she has. I haven't done, like, the education that she has. Like, you know, I can't expect to just
be at the same.
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes practice. It's an artwork.
Yes. And actually, I think that one of the reasons, because I think they're still big, but they got really big at one point, these adult coloring books.
Yes. And it was zen
Yes.
to do these coloring books.
You know what? I never got it finished, and I lost a file now. I don't know if this is appropriate. The word adult coloring book always made me think of
Porn.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because of adult movies, you know.
Okay.
So I tried to create. I never got around because it took me way too long. Because you know, it was before now AI could just do this for you, right? But I was like drawing it line by line. I was taking a Kama Sutra.
Oh yeah.
And I was doing a coloring book out of it.
Oh my god, I actually love that.
That would have been so cool if I had finished that.
I think you should find that file somewhere and finish it. That would be neat.
Or start it over again.
And like get it from like sell it to like sex shops or something. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was good for like bachelorette parties and that type of stuff, right? Like, we're gonna go coloring. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
But then it's a little racy. Yeah, so I think they gave people permission to be in that kind of state, that creative state, again, without like, you know, having to evaluate the results.
Or create from scratch.
Yes. So I think like with these coloring books, we're getting back something that we'd forgotten we needed.
Absolutely.
Section 4 is interesting because it's making something nobody sees.
Okay.
Because we live in a world that has monetized creativity.
Yes.
and turned almost every output into potential content. Content too. That's a big one,
yeah.
right? So when was the last time you made something that you didn't photograph, share, or show anyone? What happened? What happens to creative act when it might become content? Does it change the experience of making it?
I think, I mean, I definitely get dopamine when I finish and I share it to my family members and friends, and they're like, wow, this is so pretty. So for me, it's like part of my process.
Yeah.
But I haven't always shared everything. And for me, I guess it's because I don't do it to sell it anymore. I'm not doing it for the content. But back when I was, it was like, oh, am I portraying it in a way that's the best way to portray it? And then it's like, are people going to like it? Like, did I do a good job? You kind of judge yourself more.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, as far as like creating something that like I haven't shown to anyone, usually it's because it turned out bad. And I wasn't like to show off. But as far as content, I don't know what it is. Like if I'm gonna post on Facebook to my friends and family, I'm all like, yeah, look at this. Like, you know, like I did this, I did that.
Yeah.
And then you tell me, oh, you should make content on Instagram. And like, and
You
all
struggle.
of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's like, I can't do this. I don't like, this is no fun. This is not like, this is not art. This is not creative.
Yeah.
So I struggle actually with making it to become content. I do it like the accidental way where I'm just because I'm showing off, but I do think that for a lot of people it becomes more about the content.
Yeah, I think
than
so.
about the creating.
And getting the likes or getting the follows. And I mean, listen, if that's part of your process,
I was gonna say that's fine. It's just if it's more about that, you might not get that beneficial, you know,
release.
Yeah, the mental part. But I mean, there's still like there's gonna be positives anyway.
I think so. And I think that's for your own individual person to evaluate that, right? For me, it didn't add value. And I still post, but just to share with my family and friends because I'm like, oh, check this, I made this. Here you go.
No, yeah, I love showing off.
Right? But it's not to, you know, I don't know, sell or create the content intentionally for this. So.
Oh, and I feel like right away, like when I show something nice that I've made to someone, they're always like, oh, you could sell that. And I know it's meant well, right? Like it's just like, and I caught myself saying it to you, right?
Yes.
And I stopped myself because I realized what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because that's what people say.
Yeah. And that's the norm, right? And we live in a culture where it's like, okay, make money on everything you do.
Turn everything into a side hustle.
Right? Which I get that, but it doesn't always have to be either. So.
I mean, if you have the opportunity and the privilege to be able to enjoy a hobby without making money from it, because, you know, for some people, they might not have that privilege.
Yes.
Like, in order to afford those craft supplies, they might need to make an output
to do it. Yeah.
Yes. But if you have that privilege, it's kind of nice to do it.
To just do it. To do it.
At least sometimes. What would it feel like to make something purely for the 45 minutes it gives your nervous system and then put it away?
I struggle with that. I really struggle with that. So when I start something, I'm like, I need to finish it or get really far along because otherwise I'll think about it.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. And if I manage to stop thinking about it, it's gone.
Exactly. Like most likely I put it down because I have an appointment or I have to go somewhere. If not, I come back right after and I finish it. Yeah. Like that's just how it is.
Because like sometimes I actually enjoy something and I tell myself I'm going to let it stretch out. Mm-hmm. And if I've managed to do that without it like activating that must finish, must close the loop thing, then I'm not going to go back to it.
Yeah.
Like that thing's gone.
Yeah, it's not gonna actually. Yeah,
I have a book like that.
No, and that's the thing, like when you focus, like if you didn't zone out, like why didn't you zone out? Like why didn't you lose those 3 hours of your day? Like this is the first question. So
all right, so return to play. If you were going to try one meditative creative practice this week, no goals, no sharing, no judgment, what would it be?
I've always wanted to just create like a like almost like a art book, and just like do an art a day almost.
Oh, okay, like a sketchbook.
Whether
So,
it's whether it's like a watercolor or like a line drawing, or like I draw this cup, like whatever it is. I have always wanted to do that. I don't know if I'd be consistent, but
my mom joins these challenges every now and
okay,
then.
yeah.
So like, and she's like, strict about it. If she's in one of those challenges,
She will do it.
Challenges. So we'll be camping or whatever, and then she'll be like, I have to do my drawing, I have to do my painting, I have to do and it's like, it becomes this big thing that it has to be done. But like, for me, that sounds stressful.
Yeah.
But
for some it works.
Yeah, no, she likes that, because otherwise she would not continue participating.
So and I don't know if that would be meditative, but
well, I think
maybe in the moment.
Yeah, the sketchbook part would
Yeah.
be. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like being forced to do it may be less so, but I think once you start.
Yeah.
For me, if I had to do it right now, I have started the acquiring
Okay.
for a craft. So I bought a lot of stones to make jewelry.
Okay.
Just like beads, right?
Okay, cute.
But made like the beads made out of real gemstones and stuff.
Okay.
To kind of like, go with the whole like, woo woo type of
Yes.
This stone for this and this stone for that, and it's kind of like one of my ways that I am dealing with uncertainty right now is kind of like
trust the woo woo.
Yeah, and it's also just like, so like it's gonna have so much different advantages, because there's definitely the losing yourself while beading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's also like, I've put meaning towards that, and I'm putting intention, I'm putting thought.
Absolutely.
And I'm feeling like this situation which I can't control or I can't do anything for, well, it sounds silly, but I'm making a bracelet for it.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to be okay.
Exactly. So that's like different ways in which creativity really does like show up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for this week, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of homework. So I want to invite you to try something. Find one repetitive, absorbing thing that you can do with your hands. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be coloring, folding, drawing a pattern, knitting, like stones, tearing a paper, or it could be something specific like zentangle.
Yeah.
Give yourself 20 minutes, just one day. No phone, no music with words, just maybe you want to put some classical music or something, and nothing specifically that you are going to produce at the end. You're just going to go and create something, whatever happens, and just notice what happens and what that feels like, and if your breathing changes. If you do go into that parasympathetic, that tone, and does your mind quiet? What's your nervous system saying? Yeah, that would be.
That's great. When you started saying that, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna show it," but no, we don't want to produce anything.
No.
So we're not showing you anything next week. Sorry.
You're like, I'm ready to break.
All right. Well, that was like a really great way to open the door on creativity.
I think so.
Yeah. So I think chapter 6 is going to be such a gentle and expansive place to spend the month. We're going to keep exploring what creativity can look like when we take the pressure off, and what it feels like to make things, to play, to express something without needing it to go anywhere. And we're glad you're here for it.
Thanks.
Thank you. May you give yourself permission to make something just for you.
Bye.